Hi, Mr. Olmos. I'm Kristen Barton. I'm from 23 ABC, which means that I am from Bakersfield, which is where you actually filmed the movie.
Yeah, we did.
So,
It wonderful.
so virtually, welcome back to our neck of the woods. Uh, thank you for making this film in our town. I would like to just first off ask, what was your experience here in Bakersfield when you were filming? How'd you like the people and the landscape?
I loved it, and they treated us with such respect and kindness. I really appreciated being in Bakersfield in that area when we shot the film. It was fantastic. I'd never been in the almond trees during the blossoming, and I don't think very many people know about that. You that live by the almond trees know very well. When the blossom season, I think, lasts for about 2 to 3 weeks at the most. So we were very fortunate to be able to catch it right at the time when it was blossoming, and we were very lucky.
It was perfect timing. I actually grew up in the Central Valley, so I know all about those almond orchards and the way they bloom. It was great to see them in the movie. And I would just like to kind of get into, why did you decide to make this film? What was the intention behind it?
Well, I think the story was really quite unique, and it's a fictionalized storytelling of a reality that's happened and is continues to happen in the Central Valley, which is the contamination of water by the usage of in the oil industry. For every gallon, I mean, each barrel of water oil that comes out of the ground, there are 15 barrels of water that come out of the ground. So you have to get rid of that water, and they're finding different ways of trying to do it. They're trying to clean it, but the most inexpensive way and the quickest way is just to dig large trenches and pour the water in there and let it evaporate. But it doesn't evaporate. It sinks back into the ground, and then it gets into the main water rivers that are underneath the ground and into our water supply, and it ends up hurting and contaminating the water, all the food that we have in the Central Valley that we farm there. The farmland is phenomenal, and so that's what the story's about: contamination of water.
So I know you said that you've never been to Bakersfield, but you still had a pull to come here and talk about this issue. What was that pull for you?
Well, the truth. It's a truth that we just bring enlightening. And I tried to make a movie that was entertaining, and it wasn't so much like an Aaron Brockovich. It was more like an entertaining buddy movie that, in turn, allows you to experience a truth that has to be understood, and that's what it does. It brings the awareness of the problem, and the main problem is, of course, the greed that the different corporations of the world, and in this case we're looking at the oil industry, and what it continues to go after, which is it goes into the net present value understanding of life. And people say, net present value, what does that mean? And it means that if you make more money than it costs you to fight whatever it is that you're doing to people or the land or whatever, if you make more money than it costs you to fight it, continue doing it. That's the net present value.
And that's something that was repeated so prevalently throughout the film. And another thing I noticed with your projects, you tend to kind of pick things intentionally, things that bring an awareness to an issue. And I know, especially for you, you've done a lot of projects that bring a dynamicness to the Hispanic community, like, with Maya and Selena, Narcos, all these projects. So what did you want people to take away from your character, Santiago, and his storyline?
Well, basically, it's a true character. I was wearing his hat during the movie. And just an understanding of the participation of French. It's a buddy movie. It's entertaining more than anything. You kind of laugh a lot and find yourself involved with the characters. And inside of that story, you come across an understanding of what it is that they're living and what's going on, because it's based on fact. And some of the facts are very startling and very difficult to take. And that's why, instead of making a movie that has the message hitting you over the head, I made a movie that entertains you and has a message that allows you to think about it. And it does work that way, especially in today's time. We're getting hit over the head with a lot of realities. The last thing you need is another Aaron Brockovich that completely annihilates you. You come out of seeing the movie as depressed. Here you don't come out depressed. Here you come out thought-provoked.
No, that's very powerful. And I know that you started filming this back in 2018, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So, you didn't probably expect to be releasing this during a pandemic. What do you think? Right? So what do you think is like the soberness, I guess, of it coming out right now versus in a normal time?
We're lucky. I think this movie is lucky because it's going to be able to be seen by people that normally would maybe take a year from now to be able to really see it on television and see it on streaming, because it would come out in the theaters first, the whole thing. And it's going to come out in theaters, but there's not too many theaters that are open right now. So the maybe 10 or 11 screens that are open in the country will be showing it, but or complexes that will be open. So it's going to be streamed at the same pay-per-view, and that more people will probably see it now than would have seen it had it come out in another period of time, because other films would have been taking the attention away from it. Now it's kind of on its own. It opens on October 16th on pay-per-view, and you can see it on all streaming networks. And The Devil Has a Name, with David Strathairn playing the lead, along with Marty Sheen and Alfred Molina, Kate Bosworth, who does a brilliant job. She's actually the lead actress in the whole movie.
Right,
and then myself. Pardon?
A very star-studded cast for sure, including yourself.
Yeah.
So as far as just looking at the actual title, The Devil Has a Name, right? I feel like you really don't know who the devil is. And you know that Kate Bosworth's character says, the devil has a name, but it seems like she is the devil the whole time. So was that intentional to kind of make it vague who that person is?
Well, you kind of find out that the devil really is the corporation, not so much the person. And the devil is the actual what's happening with the understanding of what they're doing. See, to me, we have to come to terms with what's more important, making money or making sense. Now, sense can add up to making money, but making money never adds up to making sense. It just makes more money. And with the plain words that I'm doing right now, you start to realize, say, wait a minute, I get that. Yeah,
Right.
it makes sense. It'll add up to money one day, and it will, maybe not the quantity of money that you're used to having, but guess what? You're destroying the essential environment, and you're destroying our main supply of existence. You contaminate the water enough, and you won't have any more water. And you say, well, come on, man, it'll always rain. Yeah, it'll rain up until the point of, like in Blade Runner, it becomes acid.
Right.
And you destroyed the quality of the rainwater and everything. So in essence, we have the opportunity to look at something that will enlighten us to maybe think about what we're doing to ourselves. That's all.
Definitely. And as far as just the timing of this movie, not just the pandemic, but also Hispanic Heritage Month, right? Was that also intentional? And why do you think it's powerful that's coming out during this time?
We're very fortunate. First of all, because I'm Latino, Latinx, and I'm very proud of it. So all of a sudden, one of the major characters in the movie is this character, Santiago, which I portray. And it's a movie about what's happening to us. And it's entertaining. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll be thought-provoked, you'll be entertained. And all in all, you'll have a good time watching the film, which is all that matters. You won't come out of the movie feeling all depressed.
Definitely. And also just a kind of fun question. So you did film so much here in Bakersfield, and our audience, I know, is going to get a kick out of that for sure. What was your favorite place or memory of filming here?
The people. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. We worked a lot with the migrant workers and people who work the farms, and we worked a lot with people who live there. And we had great food. And I would say that the weather was excellent. I was very grateful that we hit when we hit, and we got a chance to do it when we did it. And again, I think the movie speaks for itself in respects of the kind of place that Bakersfield and that the Central Valley is in California. It's beautiful.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. It looks like our time is up, but it was such a pleasure to meet you. And thank you so much for highlighting our area.